around here was when we got the smart meter, and then this one shows when we got our new boiler, and there was a big drop in usage there. It's great to be able to just log on and see a difference to my usage. It's really motivating.
Welcome to another episode of Fully Charged, coming to you today from about 3,000 feet above Westminster in central London. I'm just dropping in to find out what the government is doing about the future of energy. So we've heard a lot about energy efficiency in our homes and about insulating them, about solar panels on the roof, but this sort of equipment is very expensive. So I've come here today to find out how the government are going to help us pay for it. Hello, David.
Hello.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Good
Hi.
to meet you.
Now, the Green Deal, as far as I can understand it, is a way for the government to kind of encourage us to find ways to waste less energy in our homes. Is that right?
I mean, essentially, the Green Deal is a way of paying for home improvements like insulation through the savings that you make on your energy bills.
Say you're going to have a new front door because your old one leaks and blows open when it's windy. To have the new one fitted, you don't actually have to pay there and then the full amount for that door on the day it's fitted. That can be fed into your energy bill, so you cover it over a longer time.
That's exactly right. And some things will fully pay for themselves, some things will partly pay for themselves. It all depends on what you have done, what your home is like at the moment.
I like the idea of the balance, so that you effectively borrow as much money as you'll save. It's a hard one to explain, isn't it? But if your fuel bill goes down by, let's say £20 a month,
yeah,
and you're paying back £19 a month,
yeah,
that means you're doing very well. I mean, your house is improved and you're not paying any more on your bills and you're using much less energy.
You're saving £1 a month. Yeah. That's exactly the idea. Obviously, the government can't guarantee that you will definitely save money, because after all, if you insulated your home nice and warm, whacked the heating up to full blast and left all the windows open in the winter, you're probably not going to save money. But the idea is that if you carried on, using your home in more or less the same way that you use it now, then you would save money. You certainly wouldn't be worse off.
This isn't like a government grant scheme then, in that sense? Or can you actually apply for actual money that will actually pay for, say, a new front door and new windows in your house?
So those things that pay for themselves, rather than the government paying for them, we can just pay for those as individual citizens through our energy bills. There's still no upfront cost for those things. But then there are other things which make very good sense for society as a whole to do. So, for example, if you live in an old house, maybe a Victorian house or something, you won't be able to have a sort of cheaper form of insulation known as cavity wall insulation, which you can put in more modern houses. You have to have a slightly more expensive form of insulation. Those things, they may not pay for themselves, and so there is money available from the government to help you do that.
And what areas of sort of modern energy technology does it cover? I mean, could you pay for solar panels with the same system?
Potentially you could pay for solar panels with the same system. There's just a few checks in there to make sure that you're not ending up getting lots of different types of benefit. Right. But it covers, I think there's about more than 40 things that you could potentially do that way.
Right, so it's not just insulation.
It's not just insulation, but it's things that relate to saving energy in the home or indeed in the office.
I suppose I'm sort of assuming everyone's already double insulated their lofts and their walls, but there's still a lot of properties that haven't had that done.
So there's almost no properties left that don't have loft insulation, at least of some form, and we've been successful. But there are lots and lots of homes that don't have other types of insulation. So almost all of our older stock. So lots of Victorian homes, that kind of era. Very, very few, almost none of those have had their walls properly insulated. That would make a big difference. There's still plenty of homes that could benefit from having more double glazing. I can't remember the exact figures, something like 80% have got at least some double glazing, but many don't have full double glazing. And then in terms of things, people probably don't even think how leaky their front door is.
So you're in your house and you've got your leaky front door and your boiler's broken and your windows are rubbishy old single glazed units, and you want to do something. So what would be the first step? You'd get an advisor to your house to
That's right. That's right. The government set up an accreditation scheme, so you'll get an accredited advisor who really knows their stuff to come around and look at your home, talk to you about how you use your energy, and then work out if you'd benefit from having a Green Deal. And importantly, we should have said, if you move house, then you don't need to keep paying for that. The new person who moves in, they will then take on the payments.
They take over the whole
contract. So you only pay for the benefits that you're getting while you're getting the benefits of them. That's one of the key things that's new about this way of doing it.
And when does the scheme actually launch?
There are no Green Deal providers as yet. They will come into existence and be able to start some work as of the 1st of October this year, but the full scheme doesn't get going until the end of January next year. So there are some things that can be done in between October and January, but the full scheme gets going as of the end of January 2013.
And that's nationwide?
That's nationwide.
That I think a lot of people are not aware of is that it's part of a sort of Europe-wide strategy. It's not just this country sort of acting alone.
That's right. So this is a core part of trying to save energy. You know, if we can make big inroads in saving energy there, we can make big inroads in tackling climate change, and that's part of a Europe-wide, indeed worldwide, plan to reduce greenhouse gases going into the environment.
So we now know that the government is committed to reducing our carbon emissions by 80% by 2050. So the obvious thing to do is go to Durham.
Join us next time on Fully Charged when I'll be finding out all about the customer-led network revolution